Well, hi. This is Lynn McWright and Teresa Waldy. We're here today with our webinar. It's January the 10th, 2024. Imagine that. So, what we're talking about today is so close to our hearts. It's about the gap between our expectations and reality. And we have just wonderful, wonderful things to share, which are leading edge information for the world today. And we're beginning to see in a much clearer way now that, all kinds of symptoms of I want to call it dysregulation, dysfunction, really, in our society have emerged since coming out of the pandemic. A lot of the same issues that came up during that time of the pandemic itself seem to be continuing today. And those numbers are really staggering. But the gap between our career aspirations and reality is our topic for today. So I'm just so thrilled to welcome all of you nurses who have arrived, and we'll probably have some more joining us later. And I want to greet the people who are here with us on the replay. Thank you so much for attending this lecture, and we'll see you on YouTube. You're welcome to pick up our previous ones and our ongoing ones. We'll be on once a month for the webinar. And then the following week, we will have a Q&A follow-up from that webinar. So I'll just go ahead and give you the dates right now coming up for February and March. We'll be meeting on February the 7th and the 13th, and the March will be the 6th and the 13th. Well, how can that be? 7th and 14th and March 6th and 13th. I knew they had to be the same. Okay, so we will be doing our webinar today, and then next week we'll be back for the question and answer follow-up session. So really looking forward to having the opportunity to talk with you some more on our Q&A, but we'll have some time for Q&A today as well. So we'll look forward to doing that. I'm just realizing I should probably put the information in the chat again. Oh, well, it's fine. I never did press the go button. Oh, here it is. Here it is. Okay.
There it is. Great.
All right. Wow. Well, Teresa, I know you have some ideas about how you might like to begin today.
Yeah, one thing that keeps coming up to me all the time is, and this is kind of a shocking title, but nurses are rejecting repackaged solutions. If we've been nurses for a long, long time, and or not, but we see the trends in our world, and we're like, I want to do so much with my career. I want to be this idea in my mind about what I want to bring to the world as a nurse. And this conversation is about nurse coaching and our aspirations of our careers and our lives and what we bring to that equation, and then the reality that we see. So today I want to just kind of have a little topic about what that gap is. Why do we even perceive that there's a gap there? And how can we bridge to bring our career aspirations and our life full circle, all encompassing, to live the life we're here to live? And in my view, that's what coaching is. Nurse coaching is a bridge between the gap of medical care and people's health or illness. And we get to bring this information to our patients. But if we don't see it for ourselves first, I think that's part of the gap. We're missing that piece for ourselves. And once we find it for ourselves, we can very easily help our patients see that. And it's truly one conversation. So I'm going to share a little PowerPoint here that's very simple. just as a way to keep us on track with the conversation, and we'll see where we go. But I'm really grateful that you're here for this conversation and today, helping us all. So bridging the gap between career aspirations and reality. What does that really mean? So let's explore that for a minute. There's three subjects here: the gap, how did we get here, and recognize the oneness of life. So the gap is truly just a misunderstanding of where we think our experience is coming from. We all use the same process to live life. We all have a mental life. We all have a physical life that we see, the reality around us, the things that we feel are important to us. And a lot of us feel our careers are important to us, and they are, but it's what we're doing with nursing as our career that's filling the gap and helping people to live better lives. And when we know where we're coming from at that level, we have an ability and a responsibility, really, to help people see it for themselves, to enrich their lives, to enrich our lives, and to get out of our heads, really, and get into our life and see what's here for us. Lynn, would you like to add something?
Oh, we just that, until the pandemic came, people were able to separate their personal lives and their work lives. And as people started working from home and spending more time with their families and so forth, people have really realized that there is only one life. And that one life encompasses our work, encompasses our family. There is no separation. That any separation that we've made, that we've perceived, has been through our own making. We've created that gap ourselves. So now it's time to put the pieces of the puzzle back together.
So that internal piece that we're talking about, this gap, we're going to call it the thought bridge. And that thought bridge really truly is asking yourself this question: where do you think your experience is coming from? On one side, we have this foundation of life. In our coursework, we call it mind, thought, and consciousness. It's mind is all knowledge. Consciousness is our awareness that we think of our surroundings, our intuition, all of the things that I truly feel nursing is our awareness of the things beyond what we're doing that touches people's lives. We listen to people's stories. We connect in ways that most people don't connect. And I think nurses forget that. We forget that we have this empathy piece already built in. One of our friends who teaches similar to what we do teaches in business. And she said, we have to start with empathy. We have to teach them what that is first. And I thought, when I first heard that, I went, that's really strange. Who wouldn't have empathy? So as I listened and as I noticed, I realized a lot of people don't. And why would that be? Because they don't know what they don't know. There's this part of us that's like, we're just living life. We're out here going our own way, doing our own thing, not really knowing that we have this interconnection to something bigger than ourselves. But nurses know. Nurses understand something bigger than us is in charge here. And we're helping people tap into that. And that's what this thought bridge is. And this is what informs our lives and our careers and our aspirations. I think we're looking for that feeling of connection, of bringing ourselves, our best selves, to our work so that we can impact and help other people. And whatever that is, whatever you think about life, whatever you have brought to your work, is the reality that you're living in. And the misunderstanding is that we think the circumstances of healthcare or the business of healthcare can actually have something to do with our personal practice of nursing. That's what nurse coaching is uncovering for us, is this gap of what we think it is and what it really is. And what it really is our thought creating the circumstances, the experience of the circumstances that we're living in right now. And we've forgotten that we have any sense of control over that. And I want us to remember this is where we're at and this is what's happening. So that's how we got here, was this misunderstanding. And we think that other people can make us think or feel something, but it's not true. And I know we've all heard the saying, no one can hurt your feelings unless you let them, or sticks and stones can break your bones, but words can never hurt you. We've heard these sayings in our society for a long time. And on a certain level, we believe that, on a certain level, we reject that. Well, we can put that myth to rest. It only works one way. Your thought, your feelings, creating your reality. And when we can do that, this misunderstanding that we have about how did we get here? How did it get here? We get to look inside. Nurse coaching is helping people look inside for this wisdom and the power that we have to understand this and bring it out into every aspect of our work. Lynn?
Well, to say that it's one misunderstanding that we all have is an absolutely huge statement. It is true, and yet we're about the business of clearing up that misunderstanding now. We're about the business of bringing the truth about how life really works to ourselves first. Our goal really is to bring new life to ourselves and our profession. We've far too long not known the direction that we need to go in for taking care of ourselves, for taking care of each other in our profession. Who's got your back? And first of all, it's got to be yourself. And then beyond that, when the understanding of knowing yourself in a true way is realized, then we can help other people. So it's a monumental undertaking in a way. And yet, because this is the way that it has always worked, there's a certain familiarity to it. We've never functioned in any other way. It's perfectly natural.
Well, and I think that's part of what, when I didn't understand this way of talking, I mean, it is a different way of talking about life and really breaking it down to, oh, everything I've thought is what I'm getting in life. I didn't understand the gravity of that. My world had become one of worry and angst and frustration and not really knowing what to do. Like, should I just get another job? Should I go somewhere else? I'm not being fulfilled in what's happening in my career. And somehow I felt I had lost something about maybe even myself, but about nursing and what my purpose was and how I wanted to show up for the rest of my life. I'm not that old. I still have a lot of life left, and I want it to be the best life I could possibly make it. And my misunderstanding was that the more I worried, the more it meant I loved my family, and the more my health was breaking down. Because we all know stress is the leading cause of all disease. and dis-ease in our world. And when we uncover this misunderstanding within ourselves, suddenly it's like we have a new direction and a new purpose. We're able to navigate circumstances in a way we've never done it before. The day it happened for me was at a conference in 2015. Most of you have probably heard that story. If you haven't,
Oh, tell us, please, Teresa.
I had been looking for a very long time. I was going through a lot of dissatisfaction in life,
Mm.
family members having big issues and changes, and my world had become very small. The more I worried and the more I hung on to them, the sicker I got. So this is like a 5-year part of my life where it started out with more feelings of stress or anxiety. It turned into body aches and pains, to turned into dissatisfaction with life, wanting to quit nursing. The day I went to the conference, I'd actually thought, I'm done. I'm done nursing. And I thought, well, I'll just turn in my resignation on Monday. And we went to this conference that Dr. Keith Blevins was talking about, why aren't we more resilient? And this misunderstanding that we all have about where we think our experience is coming from. And I heard him say,
Mm.
the only way this works is the intentions and the power that you put into the thoughts of your circumstances that creates your life. And within that, he was talking about separate realities. Every single person in this world has a separate reality from someone else. And I knew that on a surface level. I mean, that's like a no-brainer, right? Oh no, there's a much deeper meaning that says, oh, this is for real. I can't do someone else's life. But when I understand what I was doing with my own thinking, and the realization happened like, that's what it is. I understood the gap. I understood my thought creating this reality that wasn't really even helpful in my life. And the insight or the realization relieved my physical suffering and my mental suffering at the same time. And that's the power of this misunderstanding or this gap that we're talking about. We all have it, and we all see it now and then. You've probably gone, oh yeah, that's true. I understand that. Yeah, there's nothing new here. No, there's something new here in this ability to internally and self-navigate life itself. Our careers and our personal life and our aspirations are all one thing. They guide us, they give meaning to life, they help us on levels that only we understand. And it gives us an experience of this one life, this one place in time that we all have right now, right here, to make a difference for ourselves and for others with the time we have remaining. And none of us knows how long that is. But the one thing it does is calms our thinking, brings us down to this one moment in time, which is all we have, that gives us the ability to create everything that we want for ourselves. So that's the power of the gap.
It's not, as Teresa said, a small thing. In reality, it's the only thing. We've in spite of the fact that we've had wonderful careers and felt rewarded in our work, without the knowledge that this understanding brings, our um our life is not the full life that it was intended to be. And there have always been people throughout time who have understood this. And of course, they use different language than the language of today, people that we might call saints and so forth. But what is happening now is that with the world on Well, now that's a funny way to think of it. The world on edge, with the world on edge, the way that it is now, we really have no choice but to reach higher, to gain more of an understanding about who we are as human beings living on this planet, this precious, precious earth that is changing so dramatically. And the people and the cultures are changing dramatically also. And it seems to us as though everyone is looking. And you hear that everywhere. Everyone is looking. But they don't know what direction to look in. So we're here to say all of those answers are inside. And the present moment is the only time that we have to look. In fact, the present moment is the only time ever. So, what we do today, what we do in each moment of each day, carries our life story with it. There's nothing that is separate, nothing apart, nothing that is less valuable. It all comes into play. It's all a part of the tapestry of life. And we're here to just add more color and more texture to the life that people are experiencing now and help them realize the preciousness of every moment when we can be present to our own co-creation of what we are living every day.
So what Lynn is talking about is this oneness of life, recognizing that one. Career and life are not separate things. They're different aspects of the same thing. And it's here for us to use as we will, and helping people recognize that on that deeply personal level, and helping us really to come together as nurses and nursing and do the work we're here to do. I want to enjoy the work I do every single day because it's part of my life. My daughter and I were just talking about this. Like, I can remember going, oh, I got to go to work. I can't wait till this day is over. And other times I would go to work and I'm like, oh my gosh, look what, this was so wonderful. Look at how many people I helped. Well, the only difference was the way I was viewing it. The work is the same. It's to ease the suffering of human beings, to use our knowledge to do what we know to do, which is to put a body into a state of health. That's nursing. And we each bring our own gifts, our own talents, our own way of seeing the world to that equation for that person that's in front of you, who the universe chose for you to be that person's nurse. And when we bring this skill, this understanding to that equation, no matter where you work, you can be in private practice, you can be at the bedside, you can be a nurse practitioner, you can be in the community. But when you have this internal dialogue down to where, oh my gosh, I understand where this is coming from, and it's changing everything that I do. That's what this program is about. It's not a repackaged solution. It is the solution. It informs every modality that we've ever used. It informs every way that we have tried to teach people how to care for themselves. This shifts the focus from out there trying to teach people, educate people, tell people, to in here, to this deeply personal place where we get to understand this gap that changes everything in our life. And when we touch people from there, we're healing ourselves and the world, literally, with everyone we touch. And that's the work we're here to do. We are here to help people see that for themselves and take it wherever they can take it to help humanity live a better life. And we know that we can't touch every single person in the world, but someone can touch someone in such a way that we change their life. We see it on YouTube all the time. How many of us like to watch random acts of kindness or paying it forward or watching people do things just because it makes you feel good? That's that's what this work is about. And I truly feel like that's what nursing has been about for me. It's that feeling that we get when we know we've made a difference in someone's life with the knowledge that we have.
And talk about Nightbird, Teresa.
I'm sure most of you have probably seen by now, or at least heard. There was a young lady that went on America's Got Talent, and I watched the very first performance. And she's this beautiful young lady, 30 years old, that's a songwriter and wants to share her music with the world. And in the introduction, we find out that she has cancer and she has a 2% chance of living. And she said something that literally made me cry. She said, "I wish people knew that you don't have to wait till things aren't hard anymore to be happy." And then she sings her song that says, "It's okay." That's the name of the song, "It's Okay." And I listen to it every once in a while because I really feel like it's what nursing is. It's okay. And she said, the other thing she said that struck me, she said, "I only have a 2% chance of survival, but 2% isn't nothing." And she went on to impact millions of people because she's living life in the moment, bringing the knowledge that she has to people who need to hear that. Nursing is knowledge, the knowledge of how to put a body into a state of health, and it's knowledge that everyone ought to have. And when we do that for our patients, we're doing that for ourselves. We're recognizing this gap that helps us to have intuition, that helps us to know what our next steps are, and it brings us such joy in life. That's what nurse coaching is. And if that's inspiring to you, and if that's something that you want to bring to your work every single day, I would love to say every moment of every day, but I know sometimes we forget, and it's okay. There's nothing more to do than to show up and recognize and be part of the solution of what's happening in nursing today.
It it was Florence Nightingale that Teresa was quoting a minute ago when she said, nursing is knowledge, knowledge that everyone ought to have of how to put a body into a state of health. Wow, what a privilege we have to walk in those shoes that Florence Nightingale wore and to see the impact that we have on humanity. Nursing is the largest profession worldwide. We have over 14 million nurses worldwide, 4 million in this country alone. We outnumber the next largest group, which is the doctors, 4-1, 4-1. And it's time that nursing stood for itself because we have a much broader range of caring than the medical model. If cure is the only answer, we have far more to say beyond that. We have being with, we have loving kindness, we have sharing collegiality, we have everything that humanity so needs now is available to us as a profession. And it's such a privilege because we have an opportunity to rush in when everyone else shrinks back. And we're a touching profession we don't even have to keep our hands off. I love this profession, and the way that it is evolving today is so beautiful to me. I've seen this coming for 30 years, and I'm just so grateful to be here now to watch as we transform our healthcare system into a truly system of health.
Oh, thank you, Lynn. I just wanted to share just a final thought here. It's a quote that I really resonate with by Sydney Banks. It says, "Thought serves as the creative force guiding us through life, acting as the master key, unlocking the realm of reality for all living creatures. Although thought is not itself reality, thought is not reality itself. It is through thought that our unique realities take shape." And I love that because every one of us gets to bring our unique self to our nursing practice, to our life, and to love those that are here for us. So thank you for listening. We're going to open it up for some questions. If this is Lynn and Teresa at nursecoaching.com, and we would just like to hear your thoughts and really hear what you want to bring to your career, and how we can have a conversation about that, because it takes all of us.
Oh, Catherine, you're more than welcome to speak your message to us. We'd love to hear your words.
You want me to actually say it?
It would be music
Speak
to our
it to
ear.
the world.
I have a frog voice. I have always believed, as I said in the chat, that I am where I am meant to be when I'm supposed to be there with the right people I'm supposed to be with, whether it's a patient, their family, physicians. When I did travel nursing for 8 years, every assignment was a sense of intuition, and it was never wrong.
Wow.
Even the one assignment, I was like, can this be over now? Every assignment. And both sides of the equation, the people I was serving and the people I was with, we both learned from each other and grew from that.
Yes.
And I think that is, for me, that is at the core of being a nurse and a nurse coach. I am there when I'm supposed to be there.
You know, that's so beautiful. It reminds me of my mom's last days. She ended up in a nursing home for a while, and I knew that she was there for the people who were working in the nursing home. And it was so cute for me to be able to see that. And I just got to rejoice in that. And we called each other every day and shared a poem that we both memorized. And it had to do with that. It had to do with our hearts reaching out to others. Oh, Catherine, thank you so much for sharing.
Very good.
Yeah.
What's the name of that song?
It's called Nightbird. It's okay. Here, I'll find it and drop it in the chat for you. It's just
Okay,
lovely. Yeah, I'll get it and put it in the chat.
You can find us on YouTube also.
Right.
We're
Right.
there. Actually, these webinars are being put on YouTube. So if you want to go back to the previous series, it'll be there for you. And we're going to continue to add each month.
If you're taking a trip.
Hello there.
Hi.
Hi, I'm Veranda. I'm new to coaching, not new to nursing, but new to coaching. And I just finished my what I call my formalized training in December.
Oh,
So
congratulations.
thank you.
Wonderful.
And so I'm very, very just open to like how to take my coaching to the next level. I'm currently not in nursing in terms of taking care of patients. I have currently left the field altogether. However, I know that nursing always stays with me, no matter where I go. But just, looking for some insight on, getting started. This webinar was very, very good. I wrote a lot of good notes for myself. But just wanting to learn and from you seasoned ladies here in the field and your knowledge.
Well, I'm just realizing, Teresa, we're going to be in Houston in February, so I put that in the chat. There will be a self-care conference in Houston on February 2nd, Groundhog Day, and we'll get to be there in person. So some people may have an opportunity to meet us there.
Yeah.
Which that would be great.
And Veronica, I would love to have a conversation with you and just see where you're at. So get on my calendar. Come, let's just find out what you want to do.
So would I go to your website in order
There's
to?
Lynn dropped it in the calendar. Our calendar links are right at the top. If they're not there, we can here. I'll just put them in again just in case you don't see it.
I'll do it. I'm
I think some people need it.
Yeah, and just let's find out what you want. It's a conversation, and we're growing in this nurse coaching together. That's what this whole thing is about.
We're creating this.
Yeah,
we are totally creating this. Yes. Yeah, it's just 10 years old. So there's my goodness, it's just in its infancy, really. And the people who helped to start the whole movement, Margaret Erickson comes to mind, Helen Erickson, the nurse theorist. Dr. Margaret Erickson is the director of the American Holistic Nurses Certification Corporation. So it was she who realized that there were so many life coaches out there and that nurses were already doing all of these things that life coaches do, and that it was time that we were recognized for our skill and experience. And she created the very first certification 10 years ago. So it's quite new on the map. The holistic nursing has been around a bit longer, but holistic nursing, the nurse coaching, just 10 years. So still pioneering. You congratulations, you're a pioneer.
That was a good one.
It's funny because I used to always read all the historical romances and the pioneer days and all the people that came, west, if you will. And I was like, hold on, they didn't know they were pioneers. They were just looking for a better life. They were looking for their next way of living.
That's
And
really good reality.
yeah, it really is. Like, I guess we're all like that in our whole lives because those people aren't here anymore, but they sure paved the way for a lot of us to come.
That's true.
And we're no different. So I feel like we're joining the bandwagon. We're like getting on the wagon train and going out and sharing what nursing is and does for people. I just, with all my heart, want nurses to enjoy what they do. And this is, for me and for many people that I've talked to, the best way I've ever found to do it. I wrote a goal.
It's a good start.
2001 that I wanted to find something
better
that
than
help people even in the middle of the night when
Cindy,
no one was around.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Cindy, we'd love to have you speak to us. I think you took yourself off mute, and we'd love for you to share.
She's looking.
You can go ahead and talk. You're open. Your mic is open.
Okay. You're talking to me, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
We hear you talking to yourself, but we really want to.
No, I've done so many of these that that I don't always look at the camera. I don't always like what I look like in the picture. This is almost all every organization that I have read about has like a wellness program that if people get down or if they want to talk about their careers. And I don't think it's always powerful enough for the people to keep going there. I feel like they're pointing the finger and kicking people out. So I think one of but this way it gives you outside of the organization, and it opens up your heart, and it gets you to pay attention to what's really important to you.
So when you're talking wellness, is that within the nursing institutions, within the profession?
Yeah. Sometimes whenever like say if you have a depression problems, or instead of getting the organization you're getting, they send you to
HR.
like they take you to a like a take a leave of absence or whatever you want to call it, and then they want you to deal with it. They don't want to deal with it. So or if you go up against them and you don't, how do I say that, if you don't, their philosophy is different from yours and you don't see the same thing as they do. So I think it's just I just think that coaching is a good way to do it. If you're gonna there's a lot of seasoned nurses with a lot of experience are leaving the profession,
Yes.
and I think they're being run off, and I don't think it's right. They're almost all young nurses are going to get their chance. They just don't have the patience to do it. They don't have the patience to wait, and without some of these seasoned nurses, they're going to be in trouble. So that's just my understanding. But the way y'all are doing it, it gives you it gets your frustration out. It gets you in touch with reality. So thank you.
Well, that's the only way we've ever done it. That's one of that is the misunderstanding. We think it's coming from somewhere else, but it's not. Coming from within our own thinking, our own way of looking at the world. And when we know that, everything changes. Like you were saying, that we don't really know what to do with depression.
Yeah.
Because we never talk about where it comes from. We talk about that. We help
Well, we
people.
feel like we have to be the power source, the one that drive forward, because that's how you make change in organizations. You put your foot down, you go by the guidelines, you follow policies and procedures, and you piss off leadership.
But they missed it. See, that they missed the foundation.
Yes,
Again,
I've
there's the
been there.
misunderstanding. When you make the programs based on the understanding of
Right.
how thought works, now you have something. You have something you can count on that does not change. I promise you. When you hit the foundation of human experience in a true way, you can create change from there, unlike anything you've ever seen. You
That's true.
transform lives, and it doesn't have to take a long time. It can happen in one insight, one
That's true.
understanding of how you work from a true insight into your own thinking. You have the ability to make sweeping changes very rapidly.
That's true.
And so now you have to find that one thought, right? That's what we're teaching in this program, for people to find that. And you can't say, here it is, this is made for you. Don't you see it? And they're going to go, no, I don't see it. Okay, let's have an experience of it. Let's let you experience what that feels like for yourself. Then you get it.
They really ran off a lot of nerves.
Yeah.
Anyway, okay, I have something else to do, so sorry, but this has been
Okay.
enlightening, and I'll be sure to be on the next one next month.
Okay. Yeah.
But I appreciate the opportunity to speak. I don't do that very often, so
Well,
I'm
we're
used to people muting me and not keeping up, but I do speak all the time. When a
Cindy.
topic, they're talking about a topic, I'll just run my mouth.
well,
Pretty
we're
much.
really grateful that you're here, and thank you for sharing your thoughts.
We'll be back
You're
next
welcome.
week. We'll be back next week, same time.
Same time? Okay. Are you going to send
Renee.
the email?
Yes.
Okay. Thank
Great.
you. I appreciate you.
Experience speaks so much louder than just talking. Yeah. Yeah. It is definitely not just for kindergarten. But wouldn't it be nice if it started in kindergarten and we just blew people from understanding? Some people in our community have been born to parents who had this understanding, and we do definitely see life different.
Well, iPhone, I know that you're just on the phone and not on Zoom, but you're certainly welcome to join the conversation. Just what is it? Hit *6, I think.
Show and tell is not just for kindergarten. I missed that part of that comment. That's true.
We found that to be the biggest benefit when we started the complementary integrative health program at a hospital in Lexington. That I could talk the talk all day long. I could bring the data.
Right.
I could speak to the knowledge level of each group.
Yes.
But until they experienced it, that's when the light bulbs come on.
Right.
Exactly right.
Yeah. So from that point forward, when I realized that, it was like, okay, next week is show and tell.
Yeah. That's our entire program with Advancing Nurse Coaching is experience, show and tell, stories, how it works, see it in your life. Whatever words we find to help people see that, we're willing to do that.
It's shocking to some people that we have no memorization. There will be some things that people want to study before they take the certification exam, but for the course itself, there is no memorization. It's all learned experientially because that's how human beings learn best. And when they do, it's lifelong learning. You may forget it and not see it at any given moment in time, but it will always come back to you because it was knowledge that came through you, for you in the first place.
I love it's tailor-made for each individual. There's no cookie cutter or prepackaged solutions here. They're the solutions that come to you on the ground as you live life. I never recognized that until learning about the bridge.
Well, and some people are so concerned about, am I doing my coaching correctly? And they're working from their heart instead of from the book. And we say, absolutely, this is how to do it. We've got to be able to resonate with that individual in front of us. And the very most important question is the one that comes to you through your own insight to ask next. Coaching was made for nursing. There's never been a better way. Well, I don't know, Teresa. What would you say? Has nursing changed, or are we just seeing it differently? How nurses relate to people, how they benefit people's health in newer ways, or is it just the same and then we just never had the words to express that before.
I think we've been trying as nurses and nursing to tell people what we do for a very long time.
Mhm.
I don't think I've heard many definitions, but I've never heard a definition that resonated with my heart like the principles do, like understanding how it works. It speaks to a human being as they're living life, doing the best they know how, and then going, oh, well, maybe there's things about my life that I didn't know, you know? So helping us see that as nurses. I think nurses see it. I think what we're pointing to is helping the public or our patients see it. And yet somehow they still know. One of our friends was talking to us on a Zoom meeting, and he had just recently gotten out of the hospital, and he goes, what nurses don't know, patients fall in love with you just a little bit because of the way you make them feel loved, seen, and heard. And that's what coaching does. You hold space. You love them unconditionally because you're holding that space for them, but you're not doing it for them. You're letting them take the reins of their own health and their own care in a space that is loving concern. And it helps people in ways they can't explain, but we know it's there. That's a really weird answer to what you asked.
Well, that's a beautiful answer. It's more than just back rubs now.
Well, but it's through those, I mean, I know people now who never learned what we call therapeutic touch, which was a back rub and a foot rub. That was part of my nurse training. You know, when you get people ready for bed, you put, you rub the lotion on or whatever onto the back, but you did it with loving intention. And patients knew. They're like, I had patients who was, I couldn't wait for you to get here because I would make my rounds before I would leave. I worked 7 to 7. So I would do that after dinner and before I left. I thought everyone did that. I didn't know that not everyone did that. It was just part of my nursing care. Um, it's part of the human connection. That's the unspoken part of us, but speaks volumes. Coaching is that. Nursing is. We call it coaching, but I think coaching, that word brings to mind certain things for people, like a football coach or a skiing coach or some other life coach. But they're all pointing to this deeper part. What my friend was taking tennis lessons from a coach, and his wife was, and he was telling me about it. He was like, I didn't know there was so much mental life to playing tennis, like getting out of your own way and feeling the feeling that you get when you're playing tennis and how that connects you to the ball and connects you to, how you swing your tennis racket. I don't see nurse coaching as different. It's connecting us to that deeper part of us and showing people that. And we can put it in any context that we want. Nurses as coaches, we can bring what we're talking about, this gap, to every aspect of our life. It becomes history that we're all part of.
Well, I see that we've reached the bottom of the hour, so I'm just going to say thank you so much, Teresa Walding, for your beautiful presence today, and thank you for sharing the PowerPoint with us. And as we say, we understand that there will be many more questions, and we'd love to invite you to book a time to speak with either one of us on our Calendly links. And I just wish all the best for you, especially as nurses. That's our topic today. But for life, this is 2024. We are all here to spread our wings in 2024. So enjoy, and we'll be back next week.
Yep.
looking forward to speaking with you soon.
Yeah. All right. See you next
Have a
time.
wonderful day.